Charles was listening to the sound of the wind. On Britannia's deck, away from Diana's tears, media pressure, and royal protocols, he could finally breathe for the first time. This is my sanctuary, he thought, the only place I can be free. But when the phone rang, his heart sank. Elizabeth's cold voice. "Charles, enough vacation. Your duties are waiting." At that moment, he realized his mother didn't see the yacht just as a vacation vehicle. She had noticed Charles's escape plan. And this war wasn't just about a ship. It was the battle when royal duty clashed with personal happiness. This war would nearly cost Charles his throne. In 1985, Charles's marriage had begun to collapse. There was a cold war between him and Diana. A new fight every day, sleeping in separate beds every night. Charles was in despair. "This marriage is killing me," he would think, "but I can't escape." Royal family members can't escape. One day he saw the royal yacht Britannia. It was anchored in Portsmouth Harbor. When Charles looked at the ship, he felt something different. "There's freedom on that ship," he thought. "No one will judge me there." When he first boarded Britannia, he was enchanted. The deck faced the open sea. Wind was hitting his face. "I'm different here," he realized. "Not Prince Charles, just Charles." The crew greeted him simply by name. "Good morning, sir." "No, Your Royal Highness." No protocol, just seamanship. Charles loved this atmosphere. "I'm like a normal person here," he thought. "No one expects perfection from me." The first voyage was a week, along the Scottish coastline. Charles felt more comfortable every day, learning seamanship, using sails, fishing, no phones ringing, no media, no Diana's complaints. "This is paradise," he thought. "I'm happy for the first time." When he had to return to London, he was sad. "I wish I could stay here," he thought. "I wish I had been a sailor, not a prince." Things at the palace were the same. Diana cold, media oppressive, protocol suffocating. Charles began to miss Britannia. "That's my real home," he would think. "I'm a guest here." A month later, he went again, this time for 2 weeks. Elizabeth began to pay attention. "Charles goes to the ship very often," she said to Philip. "Is this normal?" Philip hadn't cared. "He must love the sea," he said, "his hobby." But Elizabeth was worried. Not a hobby, she would think. Escape. Charles's days on the ship were perfect. He would wake up early, have coffee on deck, watch the sea, chat with the crew, listen to sea stories. "This is real life," he would think. "The palace is artificial. This place is genuine." In the evenings, he would look at the stars, dream about his future. "I wish I never had to return," he would think. "I wish I could just remain as Charles." In the 3rd month, Elizabeth took action. She called Charles. "What is this ship business?" she asked. "I'm just resting, Mother," Charles said. "The sea relaxes me." Elizabeth was suspicious. "Resting is nice," she said. "But you have duties? People are waiting for you." Charles was uncomfortable. "Am I not human too?" he asked. "Don't I have the right to rest?" Elizabeth looked sharply. "You have duty first," she said. "Then rest." Royal family members live like this. Charles rebelled. "I didn't choose this," he said. "You impose this life on me. At least let me breathe a little." After this conversation, tension increased. Charles made even more frequent ship escapes, several weeks every month, sometimes sudden decisions. "Diana and I fought," he would make excuses. "I need to relax." Elizabeth was at the limit of her patience. "This is escape," she would think. Escape from responsibility. The royal secretary was worried. "Ma'am, we have to cancel Charles's events," he said, "because he's on the ship." "The public is complaining." Elizabeth got angry. "This is unacceptable," she said. "He's disappointing everyone." She urgently called Charles. "You will stop this sailing business," she said. "You're neglecting your duties." Charles opposed. "I'm not neglecting," he said. "I'm just resting from time to time. This is my right." Elizabeth hardened. "You have no rights," she said. "You have duties. That comes first." Charles rebelled. "Always duty?" he asked. "Will there never be happiness? Am I a robot?" Elizabeth answered emotionlessly. "As long as you're a royal family member," she said. "Duty first. Happiness is a luxury." These words hurt Charles. "A luxury?" he asked. "My happiness is a luxury?" Elizabeth spoke decisively. "Yes," she said. "Millions of people are waiting for you. Their right is more important than your happiness." Charles was devastated. After this conversation, he became even more rebellious. He escaped to Britannia more frequently, going without informing Elizabeth, sometimes for weeks. Elizabeth was going crazy. Charles disappeared again, she would tell her secretary. "Find him. He has duties." But what was truly shocking was that Charles completely missed an important royal event because he was on the ship, creating a public scandal. The big crisis came in 1987. There was a Commonwealth leaders' meeting. Charles absolutely had to attend, but he was on Britannia, off the Scottish coast. No notice had even been given. Elizabeth went crazy. "Where is Charles?" she screamed. "The meeting is today." The secretary was panicking. "Ma'am, he's on the ship," he said. "We can't reach him. Radio is silent." Elizabeth was shaking with anger. "Find him immediately," she said. "This is humiliating." Commonwealth leaders had begun arriving. "Where is Prince Charles?" they were asking. Excuses were tried to be made. "Sudden illness," was said. But the media became suspicious. Charles again missing headlines were written. "Where is the future king?" Questions were asked. Elizabeth's prestige was shaken. "This is very serious," she said to Philip. "Charles is abandoning his responsibilities. This is unacceptable." Britannia was finally found. It was anchored in the Hebrides Islands. Charles was fishing, oblivious to the world. A royal helicopter was sent. Charles was surprised. "What's happening?" he asked. "Is there an emergency?" The pilot explained the situation. Charles's face went white. "Was the Commonwealth meeting today?" he asked. "I forgot." This "I forgot" caused scandal, forgetting a royal duty. Charles hurriedly returned to London, but it was too late. The meeting had ended. He had disappointed the leaders. Elizabeth was hysterical. "This is the last time," she screamed at Charles. "This sailing business will end." "You embarrassed me." "You embarrassed the royal family." Charles went on the defensive. "I just forgot," he said. "Anyone can forget. This isn't a big crime." Elizabeth with fire in her eyes. "It's a big crime," she said. "You're the future king. Kings don't forget. Duty cannot be forgotten." Charles desperately, "I'm human too, Mother," he said. "I can make mistakes. I'm not perfect." Elizabeth answered mercilessly. "You don't have the luxury of being human," she said. "You're the Prince of Wales. Mistakes are unforgivable." This conversation shattered Charles. So being human is a luxury, he thought. Happiness is a luxury. Making mistakes is a luxury. I have to be a robot. That night he went to Britannia for the last time, but this time not to escape, to say goodbye. He stood on deck for hours. This was my only freedom, he cried. Now they're taking that away too. He said goodbye to the crew. I won't be able to come again, he said. I'll miss you. I'll miss this place. This was exactly when everything changed. Because the emotional breakdown Charles experienced on his last night on Britannia would make him a completely different person and forever change his relationship with Elizabeth. Charles was spending his last night on Britannia. He sat alone on deck, looking at the stars, crying. This is my last free night, he thought. Tomorrow I'm returning to prison. Royal prison. An old sailor from the crew approached. Sir, you look sad, he said. Charles raised his head. I won't be able to come here again, he said. This is my last visit. The sailor was sad. Why, sir? He asked. We always see you happy here. Charles, with a bitter smile, I have duties, he said. Royal duties. More important than happiness, the sailor thought. Sir, he said slowly, I've worked at sea for 50 years. I learned something. The best captains are the happy ones. Unhappy captain sinks the ship. These words affected Charles. So what should I do? He asked. I have duty, but I'm unhappy. The sailor answered. Find balance, sir, he said. Duty and happiness. Both are necessary. One without the other fails. Charles thought. But my mother doesn't want balance, he said. She only wants duty. The sailor smiled. Mothers protect, sir, he said, but sometimes too much. You must find your own way. Responsibility and happiness together. This conversation gave Charles strength. Maybe he should fight. For balance. For both duty and happiness. The next morning, he went to Elizabeth. Mother, we need to talk, he said. Elizabeth was cold. The Britannia matter is finished, she said. There's nothing else to discuss. Charles was determined. There is, he said, about my quality of life, about my mental health. Elizabeth was surprised. Mental health? She asked. You're the Prince of Wales. Mental health is secondary. Charles exploded. No, mother, he said. Mental health is primary. Unhappy prince becomes bad king. Unhappy person can't do anything. Elizabeth stepped back. She hadn't seen Charles this passionate. Charles, calm down, she said. Don't be hysterical. Charles continued. I'm not hysterical, he said. I'm desperate. Britannia keeps me alive. Without it, I collapse. Elizabeth realized the severity. Is this so serious? She asked. Do you need the ship that much? Charles, with tears. Mother, he said. My marriage with Diana is hell. The media hunts me. Protocol suffocates me. Britannia is my only escape. I can't survive without it. This honesty shocked Elizabeth. I didn't know it was so difficult, she said. Charles, why didn't you tell me? Charles laughed bitterly. I told you, he said, but you said duty first. You said happiness was luxury. You said I should be a robot. Elizabeth felt guilty. I was trying to protect you, she said. I was trying to protect the royal family. Charles softly. Mother, he said, the best protection is balance. Duty and happiness together. Unhappy prince harms the royal family. Happy prince strengthens it. Elizabeth thought for a long time. Maybe you're right, she said eventually. Maybe I was too strict. But we have to think about the public. Charles proposed a solution. Limited Britannia time, he said. Scheduled properly. Won't conflict with duties, but protects my mental health. Elizabeth hesitated. What will the media say? She asked. I don't want them to say luxury lifestyle. Charles had an answer ready. "We'll call it working vacations," he said, "for official relaxation, for better performance, modern leadership approach." Elizabeth slowly nodded. "Trial basis," she said, "but there must be discipline. Duty's always priority?" Charles was relieved. "Thank you, Mother," he said. "This means everything to me. I'll be a better prince. I promise." You haven't seen the biggest surprise yet. Because this Britannia agreement between Charles and Elizabeth would not just be a personal solution, but would completely change the royal family's approach to work-life balance. After the Charles-Elizabeth agreement, a new era began. Britannia escapes became structured, once a month, maximum 1 week, properly integrated into the official schedule. This was explained to the public as working rest. The narrative, "Prince recharges for better service," was adopted. This was part of the modern monarchy approach. This system worked perfectly. Charles didn't miss his duties, and his performance in public appearances improved visibly. His happiness was reflected in his work as well. Elizabeth was surprised by the results. "Maybe Charles was right," she said to Philip. "Balance really was important." He became a better prince. Philip commented wisely, "Happy person is productive person. You learned this lesson too. You learned from Charles." Other royal family members also began to notice this change. Andrew and Edward also began to demand work-life balance. "We want to see Charles's model," they said. "We have mental health too." Elizabeth's evolution continued. "Maybe modern times require modern approach," she said. "Old strict methods may have become outdated." Even Diana noticed this change. Charles had become more relaxed, happier. The home atmosphere began to improve. "Britannia affects Charles positively," she said. "More patient, more understanding. Maybe our marriage will improve too." Charles welcomed this appreciation. "I find myself on the ship," he told Diana. "I'm trying to be a better husband, thanks to balance." The media eventually caught this positive narrative. Headlines like "Prince's Balanced Approach," "Modern Royal Leadership," "Work-Life Balance Royalty" were written. The public also appreciated this modern approach. "Finally, a realistic royal family member," they said. "He's seeking balance like us. We feel close to him." Elizabeth began to feel pride. "Charles showed innovation," she said. "He contributed to modern monarchy. I was an old-school thinker. He taught me modern approach." When assessment was made years later, Charles's Britannia years emerged as the most productive period. He had performed his duties excellently. Public satisfaction was high. Mental health was stable. His marriage had temporarily improved. Elizabeth admitted her mistake. "I was too rigid," she said. "Charles is a human being. Humans need escape, recreation. This isn't weakness, it's necessity. Modern leadership requires this." Charles's final comment was deeply meaningful. "Britannia taught me a lesson. Escape is sometimes necessary, but not escape from duty. Just escape for renewal, to return stronger, for better service. This is healthy escape, not escape from duty." Modern royal training began to include Charles's Britannia model. Topics like how to maintain mental health in high-pressure roles, work-life balance for public servants, strategic rest for better performance began to be covered. Charles had unknowingly become a pioneer. In mental health awareness, work-life balance, modern leadership. Charles's Britannia model became a blueprint for future generations. William and Harry saw this approach as children. Dad sometimes needs boat time, they learned. This is normal for recharge. Not running away, just getting stronger. This understanding was healthy and became an important step for normalizing mental health. William adapted this modern approach. He prioritized balance in his marriage with Kate. "I learned from Dad's mistakes," he said. "Marriage and duty are possible together, but balance is required. Sacrificing everything is the wrong approach." Harry adopted an even more aggressive approach. "Mental health conversations should be open," he said. "Stigma should be broken down. Charles showed courage first. Now we continue the mission." Elizabeth's evolution was completed. "Charles taught me empathy," she said. "Modern monarchy should be human-centered. Duty is important, but humanity is essential. Balance is the key to sustainability." Royal training programs were updated. Topics like Prince Charles Britannia Method Case Study, How Strategic Rest Improves Performance, Mental Health Maintenance for Public Figures, Sustainable Service Through Self-Care were added. International royal families also showed interest. "The British model is progressive," they said. "Work-life balance is innovative. We want a similar approach." Charles had unknowingly created a global influence in modern leadership, public service, mental health awareness. Academic papers were written. "The Britannia Effect: How Naval Therapy Changed Modern Monarchy." "Strategic Escape vs. Duty Shirking, Charles Model Analysis, Mental Health and Public Service, Royal Innovation." Adaptations were also made in the business world. Concepts like executive retreat programs, strategic rest for productivity, mental health investment for performance were developed. Charles's personal struggle had become a global template for mental health, for work-life balance, for sustainable leadership. Elizabeth's proud conclusion. "Charles taught me," she said. "Sometimes children teach parents." His struggle became wisdom. His escape became strategy. His personal need became institutional improvement. Britannia wasn't an escape ship. It was a laboratory for modern monarchy. Charles's final reflection was beautiful. "Britannia saved me," he said, "not just from duty. It saved me from rigid thinking, from believing that sacrificing everything is noble. Balance is noble. Self-care is a service enhancer. Happy Prince means better Prince. This is my gift to future generations. They don't have to choose. Duty and happiness are compatible. Britannia proved this. My sanctuary became everyone's template." Charles's Britannia escapes were not just personal salvation, but also a catalyst for the royal institution to prioritize human welfare and the evolution of modern public service understanding. Modern monarchy experts recognized Charles's Britannia period was revolutionary, they wrote. It shifted the paradigm from sacrifice to sustainability. Individual welfare became institutional strength. Personal need became public policy. Mental health was normalized in the royal context. Future king preparation programs included Charles's method. Strategic rest curriculum, mental health maintenance, sustainable service models, escape versus avoidance distinction, healthy boundary setting, recharge for better performance. Charles's legacy was complex but valuable. Historians note, he showed that escape can be healthy, not from responsibility, but for responsibility, not to avoid duty, but to serve better. Britannia became a symbol of modern leadership approach, self-care as service enhancement. Elizabeth's final admission was profoundly meaningful. "I learned from Charles," she said. "Sometimes flexibility is stronger than rigidity. Sometimes rest is more productive than constant work. Sometimes escape is necessary for survival. Charles survived because of Britannia, and surviving made him a better prince, a better future king. His escape saved the monarchy." by saving him. And so Charles's escape ship story comes to an end. A journey from escape to sustainability. An evolution from conflict to understanding. A transformation from personal need to institutional reform. The foundation moment of modern monarchy. Charles's individual struggle became a universal lesson. Self-care as service enabler. Mental health as duty enhancer. Balance better than sacrifice. Escape sometimes salvation. When done strategically, when done healthily, when done honestly. Britannia's legacy. Modern leadership requires human approach,